Hey guys, it's Pornhub. This is my guide on Rasial. I got multiple different kills in here. Hopefully one of them helps you. I started with tier 70 gear, which I didn't have tier 70 gear and I didn't feel like making new stuff. So I just wore 2 pieces of tier 90 tank gear. The armor rating worked out to about the same. Then I went into tier 90 without a Zuk Cape, tier 90 power gear without a Zuk Cape. And then tier 90 gear with a Zuk Cape. The difference is the Death Skulls with a Zuk Cape only takes 60% adrenaline versus 100%, so your DPS is a lot better. And then the last kill was no armor at all, with just a max cape, so I didn't even use the Zuk Cape for that one. So I hope you enjoy, I hope you learn something, and I just most of all hope that it helps you get your first kill. Let's get started. So this is the inventory I use. I use it for every kill. Nothing much changes. I think the one kill I take the Adren Pod out because I don't use it too much. But you need the Ectoplasm so you can use your conjures. The Enhanced Excalibur for extra healing. Not 100% necessary, but it definitely helps. Elven Ritual Shard, same thing. Helps restore prayer, but not 100% necessary. I use a Blessed Flask just because I have one. You can use any kind of prayer restore. Even a regular prayer pot would work. I rarely ever even use a dose, so a normal 4-dose pot would be fine. Dread Nips, once again, highly recommended. Probably not necessary, but it does help a ton since it'll stun Rasial. You want to use the best overload you have. I just use Elder Overloads. Expensive Spices, you get that from the quest Let Them Eat Pie. What it does is it helps, well, it makes it so every piece of food heals an extra 50 health. And if you use blubbers, that's an extra 150 health per blubber. So it really adds up. And then Vaughn Bombs, once again, not 100% necessary, but it does help. Adren Pots, like I said earlier, I don't typically use it. I just have it just in case. That way, if I need to get some adrenaline real quick, I can. And then I use blue blubbers. You can use any non-solid food, which it would be blue blubbers, green blubbers. You got Ceradomin brews, and I think it's called Gothic's Rest also work. And they're a lot cheaper than Ceradomin brews. But I like blue blubbers. They work well for me. And then you want all 4 necromancy runes, so you can use all your defensive abilities. And you can use any familiar you want. I don't use one in any of my kills in this video. Just to make it easier, and that way you can see you don't necessarily need one. But I usually use the Blood Reaver just because it actually does a little bit of damage. I know a lot of people use a Hellhound because it helps with healing as well. It's just a pain trying to get the scrolls and stuff on an Iron Man, so I don't do that. And then you want to use the best weapon and armor you can, but it has to be Necromancy. I would recommend tier 90 and higher, or the fight's going to be pretty tough. But you can do whatever you want. The lower tier, the harder it's going to be. I start by activating my Vampirism Aura, go into Zombie, then Ghost, then your Skeleton, and then you go back to Ghost, and you go into the instance. If you already started one, you can just right-click and hit Rejoin. I surge forward and stand right there. It's very important you stand right there. Activate your Necromancy Prayers, and drink your Overload. I throw a Vaughn Bomb, and then Dread Nips, and then I do Living Death. Then I just use the Necromancy basic attack to build necrotic stacks, and every time I hit 6, I'll use the Finger of Death ability. When he drops your prayer, make sure you put it back up. When you're in lower tier, he drops it more often. So he's going to drop it here soon. When he summons the minions, you do Threads of Fate, and then I use the weapon ability, and it pretty much kills him. When your ghost despawns, you just spawn in another one. And then just pay attention. Every time you hit 6 necrosis stacks, just use your Finger of Death. And pay close attention to your prayer. That way every time it drops, you can get it back up. Make sure your ghost is always up. When he says that he's going to hit you with a bunch of stuff, make sure you use devotion. Don't worry about if your adrenaline's full, just let it sit at full. Because the goal is to just get a kill for now. Typically, you're going to have better armor than this, which we'll get into later. So once again, with the minions, you just Threads of Fate, use your weapon spec, and it'll get rid of them, and you're good to go. Ghost is about to go down again, so you just get the ghost back up. When he does this, you want to run right to the line that the ghosts spawn at, and then you go back to where you were. That's very important, or he'll teleport all around the room and spawn minions. Typically, if I screwed up, I just teleport out and restart. When he does this, you freed him and run away. Get soul split up and go back to necromancy. And then you want to try and reflect if your devotion's down. I just munch on some food. Make sure you get your prayer back up. And then you just run to the ghosts again. What I found, make sure you have your abilities keybound. If you use an ability, you automatically start attacking again. And then you just kind of let your revolution bar do some work. The goal here is you stun them as much as possible. That's why the dread nips are nice. Now you can devotion again because it's off cooldown. Just make sure you keep your prayer up and whatnot. Once he hits 200,000 health, he'll go up top there. What you want to do is just keep running around, use Living Death, and then just Finger of Death twice, because you should have 12 Necrosis stacks. If not, just build Necrosis stacks by using your Necromancy basic attack and stuff. And then every time you hit 6, Finger of Death. And I found running in a rectangle works best. But just keep doing that over and over again. Summon your ghost, your skeleton, all that stuff, if you can. I think, yeah, I use Death Skulls here just to get the extra damage in, which also works. But I also forgot to Mark of Death him, so he would have been dead already, but I kind of screwed that up. Not using power armor. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple once you get the timing down and stuff, but yeah. Okay, so start with darkness, and then you do your zombie, your ghost, skeleton, back to ghost, and then you join the fight. You can right click rejoin instance, surge, and stand right there again. Nothing much changes. Just fallen bomb, dread nips. I use skulls here to start off. I think I did one with living death and it just didn't work out too well. But I just let the revolution bar do its thing. It stuns a lot, so you just want to keep your prayer up. I like to turn soul split on for a second there. You get a tiny bit of healing, nothing crazy. But you can't turn your deflect necromancy right back on, so kind of makes it a little bit better. Just pay attention to your ghost. When he brings the minions out, Threads of Fate, and then special weapon ability. Bring the ghost back up when it despawns. And you just kind of chill, you know. Then, right around now, your Dreadnip's going to despawn. I think I just spawned it in, actually. But he's going to use his Volley of Souls. This is power, just devotion. It's real similar to the tier 71. Not much really changes. I throw in a Death Skulls there. You don't want to do that, like, all the time. You want to basically do it right after he uses his This is Power. Threads of Fate, kill the minions, and then when the ghosts spawn, you run right to the line that the ghosts are at. When he does this, I think you can res or reflect, resonance or reflect. Reflect is better, but sometimes I resonance instead. Bring the ghost back up whenever. Bring Dread Nips back out if you forget. I don't know if I bring him back out here. Activate Excalibur and your Elven Shard if you have one. It's not necessary, but you can. It helps a little bit. When he jumps at you with the scythe, freedom, and run away a little bit. Make sure you get your prayer back up. can devotion this one. And then it's, you know, run to the ghost line. You're just getting down to 200,000 health. You switch your prayer to soul split, because he just deactivates your necromancy prayer all the time. And then basically just keep munching food. Run in a rectangle, use your living death, and build up necrosis stacks. Every time you hit 6, just finger of death. You can bring your ghost back up if you want. Death skulls at 100% adrenaline if, you know, you're fine on health and you'd rather get some more damage. But you just keep running in a rectangle, trying not to die, and just until he dies. It's pretty simple. Okay, so you start with darkness, then zombies, your ghost, skeleton, ghost again, and join the fight. Same thing as every time, pretty much. You don't have to do darkness every time. Activate your necromancy prayers, drink your overload, throw Fallen Bomb, Dreadnip. I start out with skulls, and then I'll throw in a bloat, and then I do a finger of death. Then I let my adrenaline build up a little bit. Just make sure you get your prayer back up. Once you do this a few times, you'll get the timings down, and it's like the exact same every time. I throw in another bloat here once the old one goes down, just to get some extra damage in, or else your adrenaline will fill up all the way. So now you just Threads of Fate and special weapon attack, and it'll kill those. Right around this time, your ghost will always despawn. Just bring it back. There's the ghost. Now you want to build back up to 50% adrenaline. As soon as he says this is power, you devotion. Yeah, devotion. He should be bringing in the ghosts here soon. Yeah, just run to where the ghosts spawn. Keep bringing your prayer back up every time he drops it. I throw in skulls right here again. And I just let that go. And then I kind of just chill until he goes up top at 200,000 health. Just keep dealing with the mechanics as they come. When he does this is power, I think I reflect. Yep, reflect if you can. If not, you can res. Reflect is best though. And then just keep going until he goes up top. I don't worry about spawning the ghost back in. Switch to soul split. Use living death. You should have 12 stacks of necrosis, so just finger of death twice. And then do the basic attack, and then the standard attack, whatever that one is. And then you should have 6 stacks again, finger of death, and then just do basic attack 3 times. And then you can throw out skulls or finger of death. But you do both, it just doesn't matter what order you do it in. And then I just do the basic attack to build up as many necrosis stacks as I can. He usually dies here pretty soon, and then I just finger of death him until he dies. And that's it. Okay, so I start with darkness, as usual. Once again, you don't have to do it every time. And then zombie, ghost, skeleton, ghost. Nothing really changes there. This is no armor, so it's not really a guide or anything. It's just kind of explaining what I did. I just kind of start the fight as I always do. Nothing changes much there. Fallen Bomb, Dreadnips. I use Living Death here. Same thing, just build necrosis stacks, finger of death. And I just keep doing that. Get my prayer back up every time. The biggest things I focused on was making sure my Dreadnip stayed out and my ghost was up all the time. Because healing was very important. Just Threads of Fate, kill the minions. And the fight does take a little while, just due to the fact that I'm trying to save adrenaline so I have it when I need it. Bring the ghost back up. Now, that's the worst thing when you need to use devotion or something, you have no adrenaline. So Brought the Dreadnought back up. And Devotion. I was pretty nervous during this kill. This is actually my second attempt. The first attempt I killed him, but I forgot to record. So just Threads of Fate with the minions again. And I just let the Revolution bar go. And just Finger of Death whenever I get 6 stacks. Sometimes even when I don't have 6 stacks, I still Finger of Death. I like to try and stay around 50% adrenaline so I can use defensive abilities when I need to. If I can. Freedom, get away from him. I do make a mistake right here. I end up signing because I dropped my prayer. I accidentally clicked my button twice. So I did sign. If I wouldn't have accidentally clicked twice, I probably would have survived. I end up rezzing here, I believe. Oh no, I did get reflect off. Okay. It just doesn't do the animation sometimes for some reason. Reflect once again is better than Resonance. And then now it's just letting my Revolution bar go, keeping my prayer up, getting Dread Nips out. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Making sure he's still bombed. Devotion this one.
Join us in death. Rise, my minions.
Once again, just always make sure you stay within a certain distance. If you get too close, he starts teleporting. If you're too far away, he starts teleporting. It just makes a mess. That one, my Threads of Fate didn't actually kill the back minion because I was a little bit too far away. So up here, it's Living Death, do the usual running in a rectangle. Just Finger Death every time I hit 6 stacks. Spawn the skeleton back in here soon. Skeleton does a ton of damage, so he's well worth spawning in. Then I end up spawning the ghost back in because I knew I was going to need some more heals. I do end up running out of food here soon. I also forgot to mark of Death him, which you'll see me do that towards the end of the fight. It kind of saved the kill, I'm not going to lie. If I would have done it sooner, my Ring of Death wouldn't have procced. And I would have done it without having to use the Ring of Death ability. Right there. But he died as soon as it procced, so I would have made a slight mistake. Alright, so that was my guide on Rasial. I hope it helped somebody. Feel free to leave down in the comments if it helped you, or if there's something else you want to know for a different boss. I'd be happy to make another guide if it's really helping people. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you around. Bye.